Hello Panthers, and welcome back to another episode of Panther Creek News. We're your hosts, Joshua Eyanagho
and Brittan Greif, and on this week's episode, we'll be taking a look on what's been going on recently at PCHS.
Stick around as Panther Creek News starts right now. Panther Creek English 2 students have started a new project in class. The Culture Project is a project designed to showcase students of different backgrounds and cultures. Students are using and creating a main object and decorating it with their significant pieces to explain why it's important to their culture. The types of objects being built vary between pots, TVs, football fields, houses, and cars. Information being shared are religion, food, and celebrations and music. With inspiration from the book Things Fall Apart, students are calling back to the text by reflecting on their own cultures, just like the characters in the book. On Tuesday, February 27th, and Wednesday, on the 28th, the students took their projects to the cafeteria and put their objects on display to present to the teachers and students. The benefit of this project for English 2 students is that it allows them to share their culture with others, and teachers appreciate them by looking at what their differences are. What a great project created by our English 2 teachers, Ms. Beckwith, Ms. Greif, Ms. Baker, and Coach Anderson.
The Panther Creek JV and Varsity boys soccer team held a teacher appreciation night for their game against Salina on Wednesday, February 21st. After the JV game and before the varsity game at 5:45, the ceremony kicked off Teacher Appreciation Night. Is when athletes choose a teacher who has impacted their daily lives to honor at the game. Teacher Appreciation Night is a common event. Throughout all sports on campus, all athletes bring a gift for the teachers to show appreciation for their effort, and the event took place on the Panther Creek field at the 50-yard line. An announcer would be announced the student's name and the teacher they are honoring to come forward for a gift exchange and a picture. Some of the teachers being honored were Miss Fox, Mr. Rogers, Coach Adams, and Miss Casares and Mr. Kim. Mr. Blanco says, Panther Creek teachers and facility thank you for the impact and to make in their lives and athletes.
PCHS's theater department's UIL competitions are approaching fast. Theater director Ms. Robert has given PCTV an exclusive interview to talk all about things One Act Play competition season.
I'm Bailey Robert. I am the head theater director for Panther Creek. This year we are taking The Ballad of Maria Martin by Beth Flintoff to district on the 8th of March. So The Ballad of Maria Martin is about this woman who goes missing for a year and she's found murdered and buried in a barn. But she comes and talks to the audience and says, I want to tell you who I am before, how I got here. And so it's a really interesting look at her story, her history leading up to the moment when it all happens, but also the vengeance her friends decide to take. So we've had this play for several months. We spend time in rehearsal, staging it, blocking it, but also spending a lot of time with the script, figuring out what story we want to tell. We only have 40 minutes to tell a story that's typically 3 hours long, so we had to cut it down and figure out what's our through line. So UIL One Act Play is a really unique setup. We have 40 minutes to perform a play. We have 7 minutes to build our whole set and then 7 minutes to take it down at the end. We only get up to 20 actors and technicians within the whole show. And so we work together to tell the best story we can in a short amount of time under a bunch of different rules of what we can have on stage. So it's a really fun opportunity too. So at our competition, we're going to have 3 judges. They watch 6 to 8 shows in a day, and then they rank them 1 through 6 or 1 through 8. We get a chance to hear from the judge for some feedback of what they liked, what they didn't like, but ultimately it comes down to which shows they think are the best, and then the top 2 or 3 will move on to the next round. So our first round of competition will be Friday, March 8th. It'll be later this week at Aubrey High School, and then if we advance, our second one will be March 22nd or 21st here at Panther Creek. There will be a chance for the public to come see this show as well as the JV One Act Play on April 5th. We'll do both of them back to back here in our auditorium.
Thank you so much, Ms. Robert. Be sure to support and see theater's One Act Plays and wish them luck this week as they take off for competition.
Earlier this month, Panther Creek geometry students started a new project. The students were put into groups and tasked with zoning of all 12 Frisco high schools while adding their own 13. They have to keep the schools in a 5A district level because of Frisco ISD's commitment to the school opportunity model. That way, the project is a real world as possibility and project based on learning guidelines. Students created the color a map to demonstrate their newly designed school zones. Students are measuring, decomposing larger, non-larger shapes, and then applying wider math themes to understanding of the map space. Mr. Frederick came up with the project while teaching 8th grade geometry students who were being rezoned next year. Mr. Frederick says we explored what rezoning meant for the area of a district and looked at the ethics and emotions that come along with changing the pathways of students' thoughts and that they would be on. We are excited to see what geometry has to present in the future.
Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Panther Creek News. For PCTV, I'm Joshua Eyanagho.
And I'm Brittan Greif. We'll see you next time.
Paws up, claws out.